Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is obviously the makeup look that I created for you all today. I did create this using only Laura Mercier products, so I'm working with them for today's video, which I'm really excited about. But before I filmed today, I actually did go in store to my Laura Mercier counter, which is in Dublin in Brown Thomas. And I went in for one of their flawless fittings. So basically the flawless fitting is a service that you book in for. You sit down with one of the makeup artists and you tell them your skin type and the makeup look you want to achieve. And once they know that, they'll pull all of the products that they think are suitable for you and obviously apply them onto your skin, give you a bit of a makeover, and that way you get to know which products are best for you. So I went in, like I said, got my makeover, which you'll have seen here, and I picked my favorite products from that and then created today's look using them. So if you want to see the products that I used and how I created this, then just keep on watching. Okay, so to start things off, I'm just going to use the Radiance primer and I'm going to apply this all over my face using my hands. So this is going to add obviously a nice glow and radiance to my skin. And this has more of like a gold sheen to it as well, which I love. Next, for my foundation, I'm going to use the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation and I use the shade 3N1 Buff. So I'm using about 3.5 pumps on the back of my hand because I want full coverage today. I really want my base to be perfect. It does have more of a matte finish. So anyone who has oilier type skin, you'll definitely appreciate that because it will definitely last a little bit longer on your skin type. I personally have more dry and dehydrated skin and it still works fine for me. So I would say, especially if you prime your skin correctly, this foundation will probably suit most skin types. So although this is matte, you can still kind of see that Radiance primer coming through the foundation. So that's what I mean when I say that it's full coverage, but it's not too thick on the skin. The fact that you can still see that kind of glow coming through speaks a lot about the foundation, so it's not really heavy on the skin. Okay, next we're going to move on to concealer and I'm going to use the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer and this is in the shade 2W. So it's definitely a few shades lighter than my foundation, but I like that to kind of brighten up under my under eye area. And I usually kind of cream contour with my concealer. So I'm applying it in the areas that I always do, underneath my eyes in an upside down triangle, down the center of my nose and in the center of my forehead. I'm actually going to use this on my eyelids as well. And then I always apply it from the corners of my mouth upwards like this. And I feel like this lifts the corners of my mouth and a little bit on the sides of my nose as well, because this is the area that I tend to get the oiliest. Even though I've kind of normal to dry skin, I still kind of get oily around here. So I'm just using a damp blender to blend all of this in. And I absolutely love this concealer. It has amazing coverage obviously, but it almost like creates a flawless effect to the skin, especially under the eyes. I know Makeup by Mario is a huge fan of this, so I was dying to try it. Like if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us all. But it definitely lived up to the hype. Again, this is slightly on the matte side, but it's not too drying, same as the foundation. So it does last really, really nicely and long on the skin. I find if I'm wearing both this foundation and concealer, I really do not have to look at my skin or worry about my skin or touch up my face throughout the day. They just stay put. They are amazing. Okay, so moving on to one of my favorite Laura Mercier products. I think this was one of the first products I've ever tried from the brand and it is the Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I always just call it the translucent powder, but if you're looking to pick it up, it's the Translucent Loose Setting Powder. So I like to turn it upside down, tap it a few times, and then I use whatever is in the lid. And I actually use the sponge to apply it underneath my eyes to set this area and on my eyelids. So same on the other eye, and I always set this area first before any creasing starts. So all of the areas that I applied the concealer, I'm going to set them with the powder using the sponge. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to use a different powder. Just because I like to keep the center of my face more on the matte side, and then I'll add a glow to the rest of my face using a different setting powder. So to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder and I'm going to use the shade 4, so this here. So this obviously is still going to set the face, however, it does have more of a glow to it, just a really slight glow, hence the name Candle Glow. So it just adds that bit of a skin finish back to your face instead of it being too matte. I do have the shade 2, which is usually what I would go for when I'm setting my face. However, my fake tan is quite dark today, so I'm going to use the shade 4 just to match everything up. Okay, next up, probably one of my favorite steps, and it is bronzer. I will use bronzer to obviously bronze and contour my face as well. So I'm using the matte bronzing powder in the shade Soleil 2. I'm going to use this underneath my cheekbones and on my forehead and my temple area where I always add it. And across my nose I like to do for summer because it just makes you look a little bit more sun-kissed. So I like to go underneath the jaw as well, underneath the cheekbone, like I said, forehead and temple area. So after I finished applying my bronzer, what I usually do is I take my beauty sponge again and use whatever powder is left over and go from the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth, and basically the powder will kind of clean up that bronzer and just creates more of a contour to the face again. So it kind of cleans it up and sharpens it a bit without being too harsh either. Okay, so moving on to blush, which is a step that I never really skip. I just am a big fan of blush. This color is amazing. It's called Lush Nectarine. How fab is that? I'm just going to apply it onto the apples of my cheeks. And then during summer, I like to bring it a little bit on my forehead here and on the bridge of my nose as well. I just think it kind of finishes the look a bit more. So moving on to the last step of our base, we are using our highlighter. This one here is in the shade Addiction, and I'm going to pick it up with a damp brush. I just used a face spray first, and applying this onto the top of my cheekbones and in my temple area as well. And I actually bring it just above the arch of my eyebrow too. And then same on the other side. Then using whatever's left over on the brush for the center of my nose and also my Cupid's bow here. And then you can also add it to your collarbone area too, or your shoulders. You can go mad with this. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the brows, and the first product I'm going to pick up is this here, and it is the Sketch and Intensify Pomade and Powder Brow Duo. The shade I'm using is the shade Ash, and I'm actually just going to pick up the powder today. So first of all, I'm going to brush through my brows. I always do this before I apply any product through them. Then I'm going to get a small rounded eyeshadow brush like this, take a bit of the powder, and then just remove anything on the back of my hand so it's not too intense. And I use this brush for the beginning of my brows just because I don't like them to be too harsh and defined or too intense. And then for the middle and ends of my brows, I'm just going to take an angled eyebrow brush with the same powder again and use that in any kind of gapped areas first. My brows are actually just tinted, so they don't need a whole lot of product. I'm just going to use this to fill in gaps, like I said. So now that I've finished filling them in, I'm just going to set them, and I'm using the clear brow gel. And when I apply this, I always brush up and out. Same on the opposite brow. And I'll let that dry in, and after it's dried in, what I'll do is I'll have a look at the brows again, and if there's any other gapped areas, I go in with the pencil just to be really precise with it. So because I want the focus to be on the base and a little bit on the brows today, I'm going to keep my eyes and my lips quite soft and neutral. You guys know that's how I love to wear my makeup, so I'm going to show you what products I'd use from Laura Mercier to achieve that. So the first product I'm going to use is the Caviar Eye Stick color, and this is in the shade Au Naturel. So this is a cream eyeshadow that you can apply straight from the stick like so. You can blend it in using your fingers or a brush. I'm going to use a brush today. So I'm going to use this all over, and this is going to act not only as a color but also as a base for the next shadow. So just using a small fluffy brush to blend all of that color in, and I'm not going to bring this too high. And then the exact same on the opposite eye as well. I actually would wear this color by itself on my eyes. I just think it's really, really nice alone as well. So next I'm going to pick up a matte eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Cafe au Lait. I'm just going to use a large blender brush and apply this on top of that cream eyeshadow and blend it all over. So this is pretty similar in color, it's just slightly darker. And if you want your eyeshadow to last a little bit longer, you can use those Caviar eye sticks as a base and then add a color on top, and your eyeshadow is not going to go anywhere. I mean, both of the products are perfect by themselves, but if you pair them together, you get such long wear out of your eye makeup. So using the same matte eyeshadow, I'm just going to take a smaller brush like so, and I'm going to apply this underneath my eyes. So the reason why I'm using a smaller brush is so it doesn't blend down too low under the eyes, and I can be a bit more precise with the smaller brush because this area is obviously a little bit smaller than your top lid. Then just using the opposite end of that eyeshadow brush, and this is a slightly smaller blending brush. It's actually the same one that I used to blend the cream eyeshadow in with, and I'm going to use this to blend out underneath the eye as well. So for the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to use another Caviar eye stick, and this is in the shade Rose Gold, and just going to pop this down right here on both of my eyes, so the inner tear duct area. And I'm going to use this as a base for this color here. So I'm going to go back into the highlighter in the shade Addiction and then apply this on top of that Caviar eye stick. So the Caviar eye stick will help this color really pop in the inner corner. Next, I'm going to use a brown eyeliner, and the one I'm using is the Longwear Cream Eye Pencil in the shade Espresso. And I'm going to use this on my upper waterline just to give the eyes a bit more definition and make my lashes look a little bit thicker as well. I'm actually going to use this on my lower waterline as well. I don't always do this, but I'm just kind of feeling it today. Why not? Okay, so I've just curled my lashes and I'm going to apply some mascara. The one I'm using is the Long Lash Mascara in the shade Black. And I'm going to be quite generous with this because who doesn't love long lashes? So now that we're finished with the eyes, I'm going to move back to my brows, and like I said, I'm just going to fill in any gapped areas using an eyebrow pencil, and this is the eyebrow pencil from Laura Mercier in the shade Soft Brown, and this actually has a spoolie at the other end, which is really useful. So I'm just literally going to go into the areas that need it. I'm not going to fill in my whole brow using this. These are actually really pigmented, so you need to have a soft touch with them and blending them out as you use them as well. Okay, so we are finally moving on to the lips, and the first product I'm going to use is the lip pencil in the shade Potpourri. These lip pencils are so pigmented, but they're so thin and natural on the lips. So if you're the type of person who likes to use a lip pencil all over your lip as your lip color, you can use this and you won't get that cakiness on the lips. They are amazing. You need a really soft touch and you're going to get a lot of color payoff. I love them. This color as well, so amazing. So this is the lip liner applied all over the lips just by itself. Nothing else on the lips. I love this color. However, it doesn't really go with this eye makeup look, I don't think. Because I want to match it up with the eyes today, I'm going to go in with another product, and this is the Velour Extreme Matte Lipstick, and this is in the shade Respect. This color is fab. It's a really nice neutral kind of nude. It's not too pinky or peachy, or it's not too mauvey. It's just gorgeous, and to kind of neutralize a lip liner like this, or to add like an ombre to a lip, this is the perfect color. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off by applying it to the center of my lips and then slowly kind of blend it into the rest of my lips. And although this is a matte lipstick, they're still really comfortable on the lips. So it's not like a liquid lipstick where it dries and some people find them kind of uncomfortable to wear. This is still creamy on the lips, but it has a matte finish. So this is the two lip products on the lips. I actually love the lip liner by itself, but I also adore the combination of these two. This lip color is so nice, and I just feel like it complements this eye look a little bit more than the lip liner alone. So this is the finished makeup look. My hair is a little bit crazy today. Didn't plan on this, so let's just ignore the hair and focus on the makeup. But like I said, I kind of focused more on the base and kept the eyes and lips a bit more neutral, which, as you guys know, is my kind of makeup style. I love this kind of makeup look, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. If you guys like it, please give the video a big thumbs up, and if you're not already, then definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you again to Laura Mercier for working with me, and I will see you all on my next one. Bye.